How are you enjoying it?
It's really good. You know, I'm very comfortable with Coach Rivera and the things he likes to do. Obviously, we were together for 4 years, so it's nothing's a shock to me in terms of shock to the system. And you know, we've got a talented group, so it's camp has been enjoyable.
Norv, are they picking up things to your pace, to your liking?
Yeah, you know, it's training camp. You know, you work on things for a couple of days and you move on, you move on, you move on. We have so many different situations to cover, you know, giving them different looks. So I think they've handled it real well. I think the things we've had the most reps at, we're executing at a high level, and there's things that we just need to do better and do faster.
Norv, is Cam unlike any quarterback you've worked with? And I mean that with his skill set, and also just sort of the way he carries himself on the practice field and so forth.
Well, I think there's certainly things about Cam that are unique, but there's things about him that I think that a lot of the other quarterbacks I've been around are the same qualities. And you know, if you're going to play that position at a high level, I think you have to set an example, and you have to have great leadership ability. He goes about it, you know, in his own way. But you know, the one thing that Cam does, Cam sees the field extremely well. He knows what's happening, and we're working on, you know, doing some things to help with its decision making and making sure we get all our eligible receivers involved.
How is that relationship with him personally? You guys meshing pretty well, you feel like?
I just think those things take time, and you know, it's been easy. You know, it's been great, and he wants to get better at the things we're talking about. He works hard at what we're doing. You know, I think great relationships are developed over time. You know, it's easy now. You know, we haven't lost a game. You know, we haven't had anything real negative happen. So it's you know, every day it's you know, you grow in that area.
Norv, in the time you've been around him, is there something you've learned about him that, again, either on or off the field, that you hadn't realized about, maybe something he does well or something along those lines?
You know, Scott was here the first 2 years. He was here, and Chud was here, and you know, obviously the guys on this staff I'm very close with and have been very close with. So you know, I had a pretty good idea, you know, what Cam's all about, and then you know, the personal things. I think you find those things out, and you know, that part of it's you know, between me and him.
Norv, how do you think DJ is coming along in his first NFL camp?
DJ, the same thing I talked about with the whole group. When he has had reps on something, he knows exactly what to do. He's been outstanding. And then you can see a young guy when they're not sure. You can see they don't run as fast. They don't get lined up as fast. You can see the wheels turn in their head. So we're trying to get him to the point where he's comfortable with as much as we can.
And we're just curious. I mean, at 66. What made you want to come back and do this instead of just, you know, saying, hey, I'm going to go play golf? What you know, why did you do this, and you know, why?
I had a great year off. Spent a lot of time with my wife. We traveled. We did a lot of things. You know, I still have the energy, the competitiveness. I wasn't going to jump back into it just to do it with any situation. This situation obviously is very unique. Number one, because of Ron, our relationship. Number two, it's a very good football team, and then the opportunity to work with some of the guys on offense. So there's a lot of reasons you make that decision.
Jerry's right that you seem happier than you did at Minnesota, like a rebirth here. So.
Oh, Jerry, yes, he would say that. I'm enjoying this, and you know, there's a lot of things we enjoyed about Minnesota. We you know, won the division in the second year with a second-year quarterback, and you know, I think we had a lot of fun developing guys like Jarris and Thielen and Diggs, and you know, so that's why you're doing it.
Norv, we hear a lot about Christian McCaffrey and the workload expectation of him this year. What's realistic for us to keep in mind about him as he enters his second year?
Well, I read Coach Rivera said 20 to 25 touches a game, so that's probably realistic. But no, I think every game comes up different. And I keep telling our guys, what we want to do is we want to be able to look at a team and see what they do well, see what they don't do well, and match up what we do well against their weaknesses. And there's a lot of different ways to attack people, and I think the players, I think, understand that they're all going to get an opportunity to contribute. And some days, guys are going to get more than others, but Christian will get his share.
Norv, I'm curious, how much have you taken, I guess, carried over from last year's playbook where you weren't here, that plays that had worked and guys were familiar with, and how much is new? Can you kind of give us an idea of that?
I think it's going to show up as we get through the season. But the thing I think everyone has to understand is when Rob Shazinski came here, he brought our offense, and then he put the things in that fit best with Cam. And my thoughts was he did a great job. I mean, Cam has gained more yards in his first 7 years than any other quarterback. Mike did a great job carrying that on, and I'm coming in here and looking. We have the running back coach, the line coach, receiver coach, the tight end coach, all here. So obviously got great input from them. We're trying to build a complete offense. That will include things they've done here. It'll include things they haven't done here.
You said 25 to 30 is realistic for Christian. What's realistic as far as rushes for Cam Newton?
For Cam, and we better get him down here. I just think, like I said, every game's different, and all of a sudden you're in a game where they're pressuring and he puts the ball down and runs 3 or 4 times, and then you have 3 or 4 runs called, and so there's games where he's going to carry the ball. There's games where he's not going to carry the ball, and a lot depends on how people defend us, and a lot depends on how well we're playing.
Norv, did you have to convince your wife to let you get back into it? You said you spent a lot of last year with her.
That was Scott's job. No, she knows. She knew where I was at, and she knows where I'm at, and she knew that this was a very unique and special place for us. So I really believe once we talked about it and we, talked about the things that could really be good, that we both got excited about it.
Norv,
we got time for one more.
Sorry to dig into the weeds, but will you be in the press box, or will Scott, or are you usually upstairs?
Well, the way we operated, have operated with me and Scott, and Ron and I've had these conversations that I've been upstairs, and he's been on the field. Obviously, Matsko's on the field, Pete Hayner's on the field, Jimmy Skibbert's on the field. So we got great leadership down on the field, and I can get away from all the craziness. I've had my share of being on the sideline.